My narcissistic abuse family. Today I'm talking about anxiety, and it's a natural result of being raised by a toxic upbringing, a narcissistic parent, being stuck in a narcissistic unit. So as children, it was our lives dependent on it. I mean, it sounds extreme, but for some, maybe it was, but generally it's not necessarily a life or death situation. But as a child, you don't know any better. Children see everything as, you're entirely vulnerable to these people. They're responsible for your well-being. When your parent is a narcissist, they're immature, they're awful, and they're treating you terribly the entire time. So we morph into a state of hypervigilance. That's where we're constantly on the defense. You have to suppress your emotions, your individuality, your autonomy, and you're constantly bracing for the next attack. When is your erratic narcissistic parent going to fly off the handle and start yelling at you? Or the enabler, when are they going to start in with you to appease the narcissist, because everything revolves around the narcissist? Anxiety is a absolute result of being brought up in this toxic environment. And many of us as adults, unfortunately, dovetail into a toxic relationship with the narcissist, myself included, because that's all we knew. That was our normal, that was our familiarity, and you gravitate towards what's common to you. So, unfortunately, a lot of adults that were raised as children in a dysfunctional environment gravitate to a partner that exudes those same characteristics, toxic as they are, because that's what we're used to. I did it. I met my husband in college. We were freshmen. We were madly in love with each other, but I broke up with him because he genuinely, unconditionally, truly loved me. And I was like, what the heck is this? That's when I broke up with Joe. I started dating a narcissist, and it was so volatile, so unstable, so unhealthy. It was terrible. I was 20 years old, and it was easily just, I look back at it and I shudder to think of what I was reduced to, just a shadow of myself. And if you've ever been in a relationship with a narcissist, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You did and said things that were just totally out of character for you. You were reduced to a shell of yourself, we'll say. They totally try to make you believe that you are dependent on them. It's learned helplessness. They want to be the be-all, end-all in your life, and they want you to treat them accordingly. I absolutely did that with my loser narc because he was so insecure, and most of us are empathic. We want to fix these people. We want to help them. It's just our good nature, and these monsters take advantage of it. So my point being that we get stuck in this state of hypervigilance because we never know what we're going to be met with. We end up being codependent because everything revolves around the narcissist. So however they feel, however they're constantly demanding the attention to be the center of it. So the world revolves around them, and we are expected to respond accordingly. We are expected to make them happy, do whatever it takes to make them happy. So our hypervigilance is, in essence, tied to our codependency. And as I said, later in life, regardless of whether or not the narcissist is a part of your life, it translates to anxiety. So I went no contact with the toxic duo August 2019. So right now we're in April 2021. And I still have this flipping anxiety. It's getting better. But now that I'm not in the direct line of fire from these malicious people, I'm able to like get in touch with my own feelings and to appreciate the way I personally feel about things, the way I react to things. And I've been left with overwhelming anxiety, and it sucks. I know a lot of you are in the same boat because I just did a post on this and I'm getting a lot of responses. It stinks. It's CPTSD. You know, a lot of us, we respond, it's a trauma response. So there's fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and anxiety is just for, like, I get anxious about everything, like things that I don't need to be anxious about. You know, I'm disabled, I'm home all the time. Like, just when the bus comes to pick the kids up in the morning, I get anxious about that just to be sure that they're ready to go and everything's in order for them to go off to school. I get anxious about making these videos, like everything, every little thing that you shouldn't think twice about is unfortunately cloaked in anxiety. Like, CPTSD unfortunately touches areas of our lives that we would never suspect. So anxiety is just another one of those symptoms. A lot of you, you know, that unfortunately, as I said, have been in romantic relationships with narcissists. It's like one of the most important factors of a healthy relationship is stability and security. Narcissists will never give you that because they constantly want you to be doting on them, falling all over them. They constantly want the attention. They want you to always be on your toes. It's super cruel and unhealthy, but these people are completely inhumane, and that's how they think. So anxiety comes from that too. Anxiety comes from all elements of dealing with these narcissists. My last video was about seeing them on holidays, and you know, that in and of itself would cause anxiety. Just anticipating the toxicity and that uneasy feeling. And then even afterwards, like the aftermath, I did a post on this, on like the holiday hangover that you get, because it's like you just feel crappy from being around them, from how badly they treated you. And then in your mind, you're like, oh, I should have said this or I should have did that. It's like hindsight is 20/20. So on the whole, it's just anxiety. It's like, gosh, like, life is good. Like, these people do everything they can to knock you off your standing, to pull the rug out from under your feet. They want you to be constantly uneasy and essentially unhappy, because that's what they are. Narcissists are not happy. They're very miserable people, and they just seek out to spread that misery. A lot of them are, all of them, I'm going to make a general statement. Narcissists are ultimately at the core of everything just radically insecure. They have no good standing, like no solid perception of themselves. So their whole narcissistic persona is a defensive structure to protect them and their fragile core, their ego. So what they do is they try to chip away at everyone around them, other people that are happy, to drag you down to their level. So anxiety is something that they implant within you to constantly burden you, to constantly detract from your well-being, your happiness, your security. Like, I'm so happy, I'm so blessed, I'm so grateful for this incredible life, my husband, our beautiful children, and it's like I still have this stupid flippant anxiety. Like, I broke away from these people August 2019, like I said, and thank God it's getting better, but like I still worry about them like showing up at our house and leaving things at our door. Like, they're trying to they're trying to essentially, like, I don't know, I guess, like, so we'll see them or something, or so it'll be an issue. Like, they're very non-confrontational. They're total cowards, like all narcissists are, but they like to, like, talk a big game behind the scenes and act like they're big and bold when they're everything but. So a way that they get to us is by making us hyper vigilant all the time, creating this toxic dynamic where we're the ones that are always on our toes, that are always tiptoeing around them, walking on eggshells. So anxiety is an absolutely natural result of that. But the farther we get away from them, the deeper we get into our own healing and rehabilitation from this trauma, the easier it's going to get and the better handle we'll have on our anxiety. It's worth it. We're doing it. We're getting there. So we're bummed and we're bruised, but more than anything, you guys were blessed because we're finding each other. We have amazing lives. We're able to identify where all the toxicity is coming from and the issues that have resulted from it. So I love you all, and I'll be back soon with please like, please subscribe, share with anyone you think this applies to. I love you all. Be back. Bye.